The client that I want to talk about this morning is Mr. Marty Bird. He came into the office on the 17th of April. Um, he received a driving while impaired on April 14th. He was referred by his attorney. He had 14 days to come in for the assessment in order to get his privilege license, and then he could take it before the judge and get it granted. The client works at Chili's of Gastonia. He is assistant manager. He's worked there for the past 6 years. Mr. Bird is 25 years old. Based on the criteria in the DSM-5, he met the criteria for a substance abuse, alcohol use disorder moderate. He reported during the assessment that he often drinks more than he plans to. Once he starts drinking, he does not stop till he passes out or falls asleep. He also told me that he has driven under the influence more than just this one time that he got the citation for. Mr. Bird also reports that his tolerance has grown over the past year. It takes more to get him to that sweet spot that he likes to feel when he is drinking. And he also showed that he's concerned about how much he drinks during a week. Mr. Marty Bird also met the criteria for generalized anxiety disorder. His symptoms were he was either anxious or worried on a daily basis. He states that he has trouble sleeping, which creates exhaustion for him, which gives him a lot of stress at work with having patience with his employees and just being able to be tolerant of their behavior. He also shared that he is always irritable and has trouble concentrating. He feels like that's due to his lack of sleep because he says he only can go to sleep once he drinks himself to sleep, pretty much. He also reported being unable to control his thoughts, like he has a lot of racing thoughts. I referred him to Partners Behavioral for a mental status exam. I thought that was the appropriate route to take. Mr. Bird has had no previous treatment for his mental health or his alcohol use disorder. He does report a very strong relationship with his mother. He feels like they have a good relationship. He has no siblings, is no current romantic relationship. He did share that his father was alcoholic and he's never known his father not to drink alcohol. He reported living alone. He said his hobbies include video games and occasionally playing frisbee golf. He reported no church or religious affiliation and did not consider himself to be a spiritual person. Mr. Bird reported he began drinking when he was 11 years old with his father. He says that he drinks 3 times a week on average since he was about 18 years old. His last drink that he reported was April 16th, 2020. And he stated that he drank a 12-pack of beer, which that is usually his the amount that he drinks. He reported that his sole consequence of his drinking would be his DWI that he just recently received, and he stated he had no physical withdrawals at this time. He reported no other substance use, not smoking, or any other illicit drugs or prescription. He reported to having no known allergies or current medications that are prescribed to him. He reported no suicidal or homicidal ideations. He is not a veteran and has no affiliation in his family of any service. He reported no traumatic brain injury. He signed a release of information for his attorney, North Carolina DMV, NC TOPS, and emergency release of information for his mother, Teresa Bird. It's all on file. The recommendation that I made for Mr. Bird was 40 hours of DWI-specific education. We also referred him out again to Partners Behavior Health for his generalized anxiety disorder. He seemed willing and motivated. All the information that he provided pointed to him being in the contemplative stage of change. He seemed to be aware that he had a problem. He just didn't exactly know what to do about it. I thought the best theory to use would be motivational interviewing. The treatment for Mr. Bird is 4 hours a week, once a week for 60 days. He plans to come to the Saturday group. Mr. Bird has been assigned to my caseload, and he will begin treatment on April 18th, 2020. His axis is one is F10.20 and F14. Axis 2 is no medical condition, and Axis 3 is level 1. Thank you, guys. I would really love any feedback or any thoughts that you guys had on ways that we could possibly help him out. This is just my report. So thank you so much.